What's up, y'all? Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to be creating some grow out enclosures for the baby chicks you saw in the last episode. These are dump bins from a retail store that I work at, and we no longer will be using those dump bins there, so they gave them to me, and I'm going to repurpose them 2 times. One, I'm going to repurpose them into a enclosure for the baby chicks to grow out. And then 2, I'm going to convert them into the actual chicken coop. So a lot of value out of these free dump bins. So if you want to see that, stick around and watch this next level enrichment. Okay. So here's what the plan is. These are 4 feet by 2 feet. Well, hold on. There's like 4 people mowing their lawns. It's a Saturday, so if you're hearing that in the background, sorry, I have to mow mine actually later, but it is what it is. This is my backyard. It's never quiet out here. So these are 4 feet by 2 feet. So what I'm going to do is put 3 of them together, which will get me 6 feet by 4 feet. I do have 12 chickens, so that's about 2 square feet of space per chicken for the next 4 weeks until I finish up their coop and put them outside, which will be plenty. I mean, I would prefer it being 8 feet long, but I'm not going to do 4 of them because they're going to go inside my living room, so they'll be fine. Anyhow, so what I'm going to need to do today as tools is my handy dandy hammer. There's a piece of fencing just chilling. And if you notice, my fence is starting to look shabby. Yeah, it's because I want to replace it, but pickets are not even available. Like, you can get the crappy ones, but I ain't doing that. But like the redwood ones, pandemic has shut that down. You ain't getting no redwood pickets. At least I can't find any. So fence project's going to be on hold. Also, well, I'm happy that I'm reusing this wood because you should go price wood right now. It's insane. Lumber prices are crazy. So I got very, very fortunate that I was able to get this wood. These are all 2x4s right here. And I got, there's like 5, 10 per display here. And I got 6 displays. So, I mean, this is hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of wood for free. And it was all inside of a retail store, so it's all in good solid new shape. Anyhow, so that goes back to like the repurposing. You know, when you do customs, you know, rustum and enclosures, problem with that is the cost. You know, that's why it's always a moderate to an expensive endeavor, if you will. But if you're able to repurpose some lumber, kind of do a repurpose / custom, then you can save hundreds of dollars. In fact, these are only stapled in, so that's why I have hammer, because I'm gonna have to hammer them out. However, you know, sometimes when you get repurposed wood, they have screws or nails in them, and you just keep a little bucket and throw them in the bucket and you can reuse them, because screws and nails, they're not cheap either. For a decent sized project, you could spend $30, $40 in screws. That's before you start even with the hardware and the paint and the roofing. I mean, you know, a chicken coop can run you $500-600 just in supplies, you know, depending on the type of wood you use, paint and all that other stuff. But I mean, it can be pricey, and also how many chickens you have, what the square footage of it is. There's a lot of factors. So anyhow, with that said, I will be putting these 3 together, but you can see they're both double-sided. So I'm going to knock out the side of one and then knock out the opposite side of another. And then I'll knock out 2 sides of the middle one, sandwich them all together. And then these down here are the actual dump bin. So you can see it's hollow in here. So it's about 4 to 5 inches right here, and that's where it was a bin. But those are just nailed into the frame, so I'm going to actually pop the entire frame off, flip the dump bins over, put them back into it, and that'll create a temporary floor that actually is 4 or 5 inches deep. So that kind of worked out. In fact, looking at them, they look kind of like little reptile enclosures. That's what I saw when they were trying to throw them away. I was like, wait, no, I could definitely use those. So got really lucky. And actually, I could have got 3 more. I just didn't want to store them back here because it was raining when I got them. It was raining season, so unfortunately, I could have had 3 more. But anyhow, I digress. Tools I will need. a drill. There are some screws. Most of them are just nailed in with a nail gun, like the probably 4-inch nails. But there are some screws. Every household should have a drill. I try to use basic tools, nothing fancy. So I literally got a hammer and a drill. Now, this is the fanciest tool because this is a 7-pound sledge, I think. 7 or 8 pound, let me see. Maybe 4-pound sledge, okay. Pretty light. Anyhow, just gives you a little extra oomph, pink, when you're trying to pop things out, just in case I run into some stuff. But a hammer, even a, I don't know, you could use a pickaxe in there, just something to wedge the boards out. The staples aren't in there very good, so it doesn't really matter. You just need something to knock them loose, and then got a staple gun for later, because this is where it's going to get a little janky, is you can see that they have holes in the slats. Well, obviously, as the chickens get older, they're going to start scratching all over the place, shooting their little baby feathers all over the place. So you don't want holes, because they're going to definitely throw all their sawdust everywhere. So to cover this up, I'm just going to use some bed sheets and staple them over it. And there's not enough slats in there that they're going to poke their head through and do anything. And I actually did this last time when I grew out chickens like 5-6 years. No, it was a long time ago now, like 9 years ago. I just wrapped it in plastic trash bags on the outside to stop the stuff from flying through, and there was no problem. So anyhow, that's the plan. I'm going to staple that into the sides, and then easily when I need to reuse this wood, I could just pop the staples out and reuse the wood. So yeah, let's see. I actually lied to you at the beginning of the video. These are not 2x4s. Top one is a 2x4. These are 3/4 inch slabs of wood, which is actually better because it'll make the overall house lighter. I mean, they're only going to house chickens. This thing will be overbuilt if these were all 2x4, so that's actually much better. Cool. So a 2x4, if you didn't know, is 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. They just round up for some reason to make, I don't know, 2x4 sounds better. But it's actually only 1.5 inches. So this is actually, these boards down here are about 3/4 of an inch, which are going to be much better for the siding than a 2x4 would have been. So that's actually a happy turn of events. And they still do have 2x4s in them, so I can use those for the frame structure. So hey, that worked out great. Awesome. So here's the situation. I'm going to knock these out. I'll do one bin on camera, but I'm not going to do all of them because that's kind of boring watching someone knock boards out. And then I'll kind of get it to the point where I'm about to flip the bins over and put them together, and I'll kind of show you what I'm going to do. But so let's get to it. I will use, I don't really care. So this is going to be the tops of them, and they do have, this is actually the bottom, but I will be using it as the top from a chicken coop. They do have some slats already, so that'll be like the grids that I'm going to use so the chickens can't jump out. I might add a couple every so often, some of these top boards. Let's test and see how. So yeah, they're not in there very hard. All right, so boom, and they're out. So super easy. They're only in there with you probably can't see them very well, but just staples, so not too bad. All right, so this has a screw, but it looks like it may have snapped, so I'll have to reattach that. And then also when you're popping them out, boards out, if you ever go to Reclaim Lumber, don't hit it like in the middle, because if you do that, you're just probably going to break your board, because all the pressure the pressure holding it in is over here on the sides. So you want to go to the closest portion of that side where you're trying to pop out when you're popping it out, and then it should come out pretty easy. If you're doing it in the middle, you're going to have a lot more resistance. So, but these are stapled in pretty easy, so you could probably go in the middle too. Yeah, so if these had screws or nails or something, you could probably even pull these out by hand. Yeah, it's just nails, or yeah, staples. Okay, so that gives me my top. I'm gonna have to re-screw. The screws got stripped a little bit, so there's a screw in there. I have some bigger screws in the garage, so actually I'll reattach these because this is the frame structure right here. So I want to make sure that that's strong. I'm doing this on the fly, so bear with me. Thinking as I go. I pop these out. Biggity bear. Okay. And you can see this is what I'm going to be left with: 3/4 inch wood planks, perfectly good. And this will be the siding, so you know, staple for my chicken coop. Yeah, pretty cool. And then I'll paint them so that they're weatherproofed. Seal them up a bit. Yeah. Okay. Frame structure's good. Big bow. All right, so you get the concept. I'm gonna blow out the left side. On this one, I'm gonna blow out both sides, and on this one, I'm gonna blow out the right side, sandwich them together. So I'm gonna pause the video, knock these boards out real quick, and then when I'm ready for phase 2 of flipping the bottoms over, I'll get back with you. All right. Okay, this is where I'm at now. Sides busted out of there, sides busted out of there, side busted out of there. Tops are all nice and busted clean. Oh, I forgot one. Nope. Try to be a hero. Ah! Alright. So, yeah. The middle one's going to be screwed into the side. I'm getting some screws. My father-in-law is going in the garage right now, because I took out some of the support side beams, but that's just the middle one because both walls are out. That's not a problem really with this one because there's still half a wall in there. So we will have to go into the flooring, into the side to strengthen it, the frame. Now, what I was gonna do, if you can see down here how these, see how it sits in the frame now? So this is what it is before I knock it off. Once I flip it over, the frame sits inside. You can see how the hammer's missing because it's about 4 or 5 inches. What I was gonna do was actually knock these sidewalls out so that it could just run freely. But honestly, once you put about 3 inches of, let me see here, 3 inches of sawdust down there, it's about 4 inches, a little over 4 inches. So maybe two inches of sawdust down there, maybe even 3. That's not really much for them to hop over. If anything, that's enrichment. And it can be a perch because they do want a perch. So they're a really good width. They're 3/4 inch. So that's a perfect little perch. And they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and they'll be 2 feet long with 12 chickens. That would save me time on building temporary perches. So look at that. I love it. So I'm gonna show you what I did. I practiced first to make sure it was gonna work, but these do just pop off with the sledge hammering. So the frame is stapled into these. So we'll lift this up. Okay. Isn't that good? Ah, don't get hit in the head. Now I'm trying to be somewhat gentle because this is a sledgehammer and I don't want to go through my flooring, so I could, like, this floor is holding on pretty good here. Don't want to lose it. Snafu, they used extra staples on this one, so we're going to stop hammering. We're going to crowbar. Yeah, you can hear it crunching probably. They don't want to come out. They did a good job on this corner. There we go. Well, probably have to cut that piece off if I use this, because these are actually probably going to be the inner walls of my chicken coop when it's all said and done. It's plywood, but it's like sanded plywood. So it would make a good flooring and good walls. So I'm trying to be gentle with them anyhow. So I guess another tool I used was a crowbar and a tape measure, but yeah. And then now we have to remove the staples. So you can see the dump bin. I'm just going to flip it over, set the frame inside of it, but first I got to get rid of the staples. So I do that. And don't lose your tools. Oh, and another tool I'm using is pliers to pull the staples out. Don't really need them. If you hammer them down enough, you could probably get them out with your hammer. But I do own the tool, so I'm just gonna get the nail started going back. No big deal. Tut, 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 tut. Tut, tut, tut. Great part of hammering nails, they like to bend. Let's see if I got enough meat out of them. Nope. Anyhow, I'll fast forward through this part. You get the gist. And these nails on this corner, they are in there good. Might just hammer those in because those were quality staples. Anyhow, it's like pulling, well, I guess what I imagine pulling teeth out for a dentist would be like, huh? Okay. Give me $500. Hopefully you have insurance, so you're gonna be broke. Brush your teeth. They always gotta make fun of you, right, when they're pulling your teeth. I haven't had a teeth pulled, but go in. Job security. I'm gonna tell you how bad you did with your teeth. I don't know where I just got a tangent about dentist. Nails out. Frame will sit inside. So I'm going to do that with the other side, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so you can see over here what we did was knock out the sides and flip it over. Now it's 4 inches because it's inside. I popped that side out, pink, 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 flipped it over. I'll set the frame inside. We're going to do that for that side over there, then sandwich the 3 of them together. What I did decide, instead of taking this wall out, I'm actually going to keep it in there because when they butt together, if it's only 4 inches and the sawdust is 3 inches, that's not enough for them to not be able to get over it easily. I think that's just some enrichment when they hop over, but at the same token that they could sit on it and use it as a perch, which saves me from having to create temporary perches. So fair tale ending right there. And yeah, it's been going really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and put all these frames inside of the lower frames, and then I'll get back to you when I start sandwiching them together. Yeah. I thought, why not? I'm actually going to show you me taking off the last floorboard just so you can get the full picture of what I'm doing here. So, lifty, lifty. Then the frame is just stapled up into the bin. So I'm just going to pound that out. Can you hand me the sledge right there below your knee? Sledge. If you could see, that's my father-in-law. He's helping me out today. So the sledge is obviously easier because it has some extra weight on it, so I'm using that. If you don't, you can use a hammer or a crowbar. It's just staples, so it's no big deal. But I do want to reuse the floors, so I'm going to try to be gentle. I'm going to start popping them out. If they don't come, I will use a hammer to wedge them, because I am planning on using these for the inner walls. They are sanded plywood, so it's nice and smooth. I want to reuse them, so I'm trying not to damage them, so I'm not going to hit them very hard because I do plan to reuse these. Whoops. Came out pretty easy. Pretty happy with that. Ta-da! Okay, not too bad. Didn't have to use too much elbow grease with the power of innovation and sledgehammers around the world there. He is using... he's screwing in the frame into the bottom, because once we took the support struts out, I think I said that in the last part, we need to put the frame into that so that it doesn't move, because like on this one, I left the support struts on one side, so it's still okay, but that one has no supports. So a couple simple screws will remedy that. I'm just gonna get these worked out. I think you saw that in the previous episode or previous clip. So I'm gonna go ahead, knock these out, put on the ground, put that frame in, and then we'll start sandwiching them together, and I'll be back when I do that. All right. All right, so now we're screwing the bases into the side with the simple, so these are 3/4 inch boards. So we have 1 5/8 screws. You could use nails. If you had staple gun, you could use staples as long as they were past 3/4 inch. It's temporary framework, so it doesn't need to be super strong. So I'm just throwing a few screws in real quick, kind of show you. So right now, I can lift it out. Just get the screws started. You need to hold the wood together with your hand. There you go. And now, all it took was one screw to get the frames in. So I'm going to do that to all 4 corners, and then I'll be right back. All right, so we brought them inside. I will make room for them where we have the old chicken coop thing. I'll move that out and I'll push these back so my couches can go there, and I can just go behind my couches for now. You can see inside, these are, that's the wood that I was talking about. So they will perch right there. I was gonna knock those out, but I thought those are natural perches, just leave them. So now I don't have to build any perches. You see all 3 of them are together. Let me back you up here. And we decided not to connect them because they're on carpet and they're actually kind of weighty, so they don't really need to be screwed together. It's just added work. Plus, what I'm about to do is staple sheets to the side. So there is wood, but stuff will come out the side. So I'm going to staple sheets just as a protective layer so I don't get sawdust and chicken feathers everywhere. So I just cut some old sheets, and I have a hand stapler, and I'll show you that. I'll do one side real quick. Okay. Let me set you up so you can see what I'm doing. All right. So this is going to be a standard. I think these are 6mm staples, 1/4 inch. Slide them in through here, and then good to go. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to try to make this professional or anything, so I'm just going to put them into the base. Kind of tight. And these will come out very easy when I want them to. Okay. Too many gaps. And even if sawdust does come out, it'll just flap right here up against the edge, and it's easy to vacuum versus having it everywhere, right? And from there, I'll just do the top corner. And then I'll come down. I used to be an upholsterer. No, I did not. I'm out of staples. Ah! But you get the concept. All right. Well, I'll show the rest of it. I'm gonna pause the video, get some staples, and I'll finish it. Give me 1 second. Be right back. Okay, so I lied. These are actually 3/8 inch staples. It's just what I happen to have. It's definitely more than you needed to staple a sheet to a piece of wood, but basically these guns are pretty simple. There's a little button you press, pulls it out, you just set them in. I can do a little bit more. Okay. Set it in. Okay. Good to go. All right, back to what I was doing. As I was saying, I used to upholster, but I said psych, because I didn't upholster. Pretty simple. Now that you have the bottom, see how you could stretch into the frame, stretch it into the frame. There you go. This is also going to add some tensile strength so they can't push from side to side, which they wouldn't anyhow, they're too heavy, but it's tight. Toy, look at tiger. What's that for? Do you know? Do I want to do the middle? Nah. There's a nice air pocket there, so they probably can't even reach it with their beaks anyhow, because these were inserted inside of the bin. That little lip right there is creating a bit of an air pocket, which is nice. So don't even have to worry about them pecking at it, even if they wanted to. And finish the edge out. No problem. Now, if I wanted to, I might, I don't know, trim the edges. I mean, this could just scrape back over. No big deal. In fact, actually, not. They could probably just do that, give them privacy. Look, it's just all working out. Not even meaning it to sometimes. And it is. So, anyhow, I could, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually also staple the top on the bundling process. Oops, forgot the corner over here. Oops, daisy. Now, I'll sit up there. Drape down, I can flip that over. This is going to be a bit much. I might chop that off. I don't know. We'll see about that, because I have sides. That side's okay. Anyhow, like I said, it's a grout enclosure. If I really want to, I could chop this chunk off. I don't know if I will or not. We'll see on the final project, but for now, I gotta do all 4 sides, slide it over, and then start putting it together. So I will staple these. I'm not gonna show you the whole process. I'm gonna do all 4 sides just like that. And then once I'm ready to move it, I'll get back to you. Okay. All right, here's the finished product. Wrapped all 4 corners, good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put some bedding in there now, put their food, their water in there, move this out of the way, or put them in here, move this out of the way, scoot this over, and plug their heat in. So that's what's about to happen. All right, and let's see, let's do it like, I'll show you the transfer of the chickens. I wasn't gonna do that, but maybe you like to see me have to rustle up some chickens. So I'll get it ready and then I'll film me moving the chickens over. All right, give me 1 second. All right, here is the final product of today's adventure. So we can see all 4 sheets are stapled to the side, no sawdust on the floor. Yeah, and they're inside. I am gonna put wood slats going this way to create more of a lattice, because they will eventually jump out, but tonight they'll be okay. So I have their hot side. They're perching in the middle. You can see their perch, I built them right there. Plus they have these perches now as their feet get bigger. And then they have the food and cool side over there where their food and water are. And you can tell by the neurotic flapping and flying around, they're happy to have the space. All right, well, that's the show for today, y'all. This is the final product. Got their heat, cool side, perch side, food side, cool side. You can see they're spreading around, perching more, getting so big. Dad is so proud. You can see still have 12 for 12. Everything's going good. Next video is probably going to be the chicken hutch build or chicken coop build. So if you're interested in that, stick around. And let's see. I think there's what else is next after that. After that, I might actually get something off Craigslist and try to like repurpose that into an enclosure, kind of show you that concept. But some cool videos down the road. Thanks for watching, and that's it. Until next time, I'll see you later.
You want to see my baby chicks? Come check them out. Oh. Silly, you have to subscribe to see them.